So I thought I'd talk about my process a little bit because I'm working on an album cover, and I've talked about my process for a few different things, but I haven't talked about it for this. So the first thing that you see me do is that I am doing a digital sketch, and then that didn't work out. So from there I went to start sketching on a big giant pad of recycled paper that I use because I find sketching bigger to be a lot easier. And so then I take pictures of those sketches and I bring them in to the drawing that I'm doing, and I kind of piece them together again digitally, then sketch over the top of that, and then finally, once that sketch is good to go, then I take it and I print it. And so I'll go in and I'll kind of lighten it as much as possible, and I'll print it on good paper, and that good paper will allow me to be able to ink over the top of it. It's a little awkward getting things, paper and stuff on a motorcycle, but now I'm going to take the paper and I'm going to ink over the top of it. And so that's kind of the process. It's a little convoluted, and I really need a printer and a scanner. It's a little ridiculous. Kind of the steps I have to go through just to not have a printer and scanner. I don't know. I need to get one eventually. So this is Illo Talk episode 171, and today I wanted to talk about The Room of 1,000 Demons, which is not a horror story. It's actually probably not true. The only thing I can actually find in my quick 30 seconds of Google research on it seems to be used a lot in counseling with anxiety and depression. And so I heard it in a conference recently, but I don't know if it's actually true. But the point of it is interesting, and so it serves as an interesting analogy, I guess. You can think it's true if you want. But anyway, apparently, in Tibetan monasteries, every so often, some people say 5 years, some people say 100 years, but anyway, every some period of time, the monks that are in training are invited to ascend to nirvana, to reach, the kind of the ascension, the goal that they're going for. And what they do is they are asked to go into the room of 1,000 demons. And according to this thing, most of them do not do that, but the ones that do are told by like the chief monk, the main monk. I need to know more about monks before I start talking about them, but anyway, the main dude takes him aside and goes, "Hey, good job. Now, in this room, there are 1,000 demons. There are 2 doors. You're going to enter through the entrance, and then the door will shut behind you. There is no way to open that door once it shuts behind you. So if you want to survive, then you have to make it to the other side of the room. The challenge comes when these demons know your worst fears. And so they will manifest themselves as your worst fears, right? So the 2 examples that I read were, if you're scared of spiders, they'll turn into giant, horrific-looking spiders that will just be crawling all over you the entire time that you're in there, or heights, or whatever. And so this is kind of pretty cool. I feel like there's a lot of really good story material here. But anyway, so you go in the room and you start seeing your worst fears realized, right? And if you make it out of this, if you make it to the other side, then you will have reached utopia, nirvana, as total spiritual creaminess, as Ace Ventura says. Anyway, and so he says, do you guys still want to do it? And the ones that stick around, he says, I've got to tell you 2 things. And the one thing that he says is you need to understand that these demons can't hurt you, right? It's all in your head, okay? You're just seeing things. You're just imagining things. Everything that's going on is going on inside of your head, okay? And then the other thing that you need to understand is that if you keep moving your feet, no matter what happens, that you'll be fine. And so those are the two pieces of advice that they give. And I feel like that is super good advice, whether you're talking imposter syndrome or whether you're talking, anxiety, or whether you're talking writer's block. I was just on this thing on Facebook and somebody's like, I've got writer's block and I don't know what to do. And there's a lot of decent advice there, but also write stuff. That's how you get rid of writer's block. Write things. And if that doesn't work, read things until you want to write things. But moving your feet is the answer. Like, action is always the answer, right? And so if you get stuck, if you're out of ideas, if you don't know, kind of what to do, or whatever, then chances are you just need to do something so that you can get the pencil moving, get things going, right? And as long as you move your feet, keep moving your feet, keep moving your feet, and realize that all of your fears, all of your insecurities, all of the block, all of the blanks, all of the everything that may be stopping you from making your art, writing your book, doing your thing or whatever, all of those things are in your head. There are no demons, or the demons can't touch you, depending on which part of the story you want to go with. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting thing. I feel like that relates to art somehow. I feel like it probably relates pretty solidly to imposter syndrome, where we start to think things like, oh, everybody's better than I am, or I'm a fraud, and I'm not any good, and why would anybody look at my work? Why do I even bother creating it? Because it's just so bad, and all this stuff. And it's like, well, that's imposter syndrome. That's not real, right? That's all in your head. And so the interesting part about this story is they don't open the door. Like, the monks have to open the door themselves. And so what really happens is if they don't make it out, they starve to death and they die in there. And so if they want the progress, if they want to make it, they have to do it themselves. They've got to get over what's in their head, and they've got to keep moving forward. So anyway, what you're seeing on the screen is a album cover that I've inked. I will be coloring it tomorrow, and I will I'll kind of put that, and then tomorrow night I start my ArtLink 212 thing. So tomorrow is officially the first day of getting back into my fairy tale, and so that's going to be fun. I'm excited to do that again. I thought this turned out pretty well. I like it. It was a fun concept. So at the beginning of this video, you kind of saw some of the process I went through to get it on the page, at least. But anyway, it's kind of fun. So we will catch you guys in a few days. I'm probably not going to do a daily video, but I am going to chronicle and catalog kind of what this ArtLink experience is, because I think it's going to be pretty interesting. So as always, if you want to check out my stuff, go to corykerr.com and take a look at the brand spanking new website that I've got going on there. And if you like any of that stuff, you can always go to the store. And if you want to follow along, like, comment, and all that jazz on things that I'm making, you can check me out on Twitter and Instagram, and right here on YouTube. And if this video was entertaining or sparked some thoughts, if you think that there's terrible advice or great advice or whatever, let me know in the comments. I'm curious on what you guys have to say about stuff like that. And we'll catch you all later. I'm out.